appears that the Serpent has gathered the bulk of his forces in the mountainous region to the north and sealed himself within. So much the better. That gives us a chance to learn what we can about this threat and plan a defense. Tradition holds that the warrior is one of the guardians who defends the other stars against the Serpent. But the warrior celestial who has recently appeared is no friend. He commands a merciless army of ancient Yokudan warriors called the Ankara. All I know is they are ancient and dangerous. I've heard intriguing rumors from the Daggerfall Covenant outpost to the west of a champion who appeared about the same time as the Ankara. That may be a good place to start looking for answers. One of our number, Errol, has been examining old Nedic writings on the subject. He hopes to find insight into the Celestial's sudden appearance. Errol is smart, but he's not exactly battle-hardened. I'd be grateful if you'd help him. Tradition holds that the Mage, the Warrior, and the Thief are the guardian star signs. But the magical events in the foothills of Craglorn, including an ever-growing army of Atronachs, suggest that the Mage has fallen under the Serpent's control. The Atronachs were originally summoned by a circle of conjurers from the city of Elenhir to defend Craglorn against the Dark Anchors, but it's clear they're answering to another master now. And if anything, their numbers are growing. I'm at a loss. The conjurers who summoned the Atronachs have disappeared, but since the Atronachs were summoned to defeat the Dark Anchors, perhaps the Dolmens hold a clue. Strange things, difficult to describe. A large spell scar in the middle of the desert, and the appearance of two high elves in Belkarth, each claiming to be the Mage herself. It's as if the Mage tried to fight back against the Serpent and lost. I wouldn't rule it out, but I haven't had time to look into their claims. You're free to investigate, but be wary of a trap. The Serpent could simply be baiting us. Last I heard, the women were still at the Crossroads Tavern here in Belkarth.
I'm glad you decided to join us. I try to help Hara with whatever I can, but right now she needs soldiers more than scholars. I hope you can help bring her some peace of mind. I'm new to all of this, but I do what I can. People have been looking to Hara for answers since the Celestials appeared. So I try to help her with meetings, letter writing, little things, so she can focus on what's important. I came to Hammerfell with a few other orcs. One of the chiefs was going to pick a new wife. I wasn't chosen, but I was allowed to attend the feast that night. That's when the Iron Orcs attacked. I don't want to think about it. It wasn't even a battle. It was a slaughter. I don't know when I blacked out, but when I woke, the Iron Orcs had joined their victims in death. Standing above me was a solitary figure, hand outstretched. Hara. I don't know. It doesn't seem possible, does it? All I know is she found me and brought me here. So, you see, I owe Hara everything. I'll do anything for her. The Stargazers are my family now.
It appears that the Serpent has gathered the bulk of his forces in the mountainous region to the north and sealed himself within. So much the better. That gives us a chance to learn what we can about this threat and plan a defense.
You are very welcome among our order, my new friend. It's a frightening time, and we could use allies like you. Feel free to get to know the other Stargazers here. I'm sure some of them could use your help. Oh, no, buddy. Just an old scholar with no particular skill except tracking the stars. I always believed that the stars bless heroes with the gifts to face the troubles of their time. But now the stars themselves are troubled. I'm afraid this is the end. Of course, there are 13 star signs. The warrior, the mage, and the thief are called the guardians because they each govern 3 charges. They watch over Tamriel, distant and personal, but I like to think benevolent. The Serpent. Originally, there were only 12 signs, but the Serpent usurped his place in the night sky. He does not appear at a fixed time, but darts chaotically through the seasons, attacking the Guardian's charges. She's very wise and very knowledgeable about the stars. She came to us only a short while ago, after living in seclusion and studying the old Yokudan astrological traditions. The extent of her knowledge is impressive, and she's been very helpful.
Many people come to Craglorn to live and study in peace. We are fortunate that Hara saw the signs when she did. Without her help, Belkarth would have been overrun, along with the rest of Craglorn when the troubles started.
The Apex Stone could be the key.
The library is grand, isn't it? Not as grand as it once was, I suppose. But the years are long, and the past has no greater enemy than the present moment. She's a strange one. Came out of the desert one day, spouting terrible prophecy about stars falling from the sky and a serpent let loose on an unsuspecting world. No one foresaw this. Sand warriors attacking, Atronachs in rebellion against their masters. Strange and formless beasts. But Hara saw a glimmer of what was to come. Because of her, we were able to prepare and protect Belkarth. We live in perilous times. We're always one interesting coincidence away from destruction. Me? I'm too old to ask such questions. I'd regale you with tales of our glory days, but there are none. There have been many of us over the years, fractious, decadent, and insular, until they faded from existence. Our order would have followed the same course were it not for Hara. I could tell you 1,000 things about the Celestials, but not a single one of them would be true. Are they stars fallen from the sky? Are they guardians created by some lost civilization? Are they a Daedric trick played on us by Sheogorath? It's my job to protect what little we know from disintegration and loss. It's for others to plumb fathomless mysteries and lose their minds seeking answers.
Hello.
It's good to have another new face around here. I'm just a student that came to study with the Stargazers. I never expected I'd see an event like this. It's terrifying, but it could mean a chance to learn so much more about the Celestials.
Excuse me. Hara says you've joined our number. That's very exciting, because I believed I've discovered something that could help us understand who or what the Celestials really are. I've learned from certain ancient writings that this may not be the first time the Celestials have appeared in Craglorn. These legends describe a link between Mundus and the stars, right here in Craglorn. Apex stones, they call them. I know where to find one of these stones. A great Mundus stone dedicated to the Celestial Warrior. But it's locked deep in the ruins of Kardala. Only a Skystone amulet, the kind worn by ancient Nedic priests, can open the way. Many Dwarven religious texts refer to a Dwemer site called Mitharnaz. A high priest named Arnming wrote that he wished to be buried there, among the Masters of the Heavenly Stone. His burial site is our best chance of finding a Skystone amulet. Nedic writings suggest that the Needs may have been slaves at sites like Mitharnaz, and they may have adopted some Dwarven practices, but the dwarves are such a mystery, it's impossible to guess what those practices might have been. We don't know a lot about them. They were an early race who settled in Craglorn. What history we do know tells a tale of enslavement and invasion. The Dwemer, the Aelids, and finally, the Yakudans, all had their way with the Needs. The Needs apparently followed a variety of customs and religious practices, adapting to whatever invaders were currently overwhelming them. One of those customs was star worship. The Skystone amulet was a symbol of the priestly office. Nedic writings talk about the Apex stones in a variety of ways. but they all agree that there is a connection between the stars and these stones. If we can understand that connection, perhaps we can find out how to stop the Celestials.